Alright, so welcome back to Mr. Steal Your Work. They called me to another location. I'm still taking over for another company. So I thought for sure it was gonna be this one. Look at this gym. Never seen that before. But I don't think it's this one. So it's running. I don't think it's that cold though. But he told me it was RTU 2. This is 3. Now the other ones were replaced and they're not marked. That one's running and it feels warm. But this one over here is off. We do have power to it. So let's see if we can jump it out, make sure which one we're working on. Okay, so the thing with this one, first time working on one of these Allied Commercial. There it is. So I'm not sure if this is the one. That one just might have been satisfied. I have to verify what unit they're talking about. Alright, so while I'm waiting for confirmation, I opened up these panels. Now this compressor's not turning on, but nothing's unplugged. Because they were saying that they were condemning that unit. Obviously this one is a candidate for replacement. It's the one that's in a rough shape. Although he said 2 and it's labeled 3 on the outside. It's had a compressor installed before, 2018. And I hear a buzzing. Might be this one right here. I need to check to see if we're getting a voltage across. Alright, so they confirmed with me this one is having a compressor issue. Even though that contactor is buzzing, it's still passing voltage through, but that other compressor's not on. They told me it's a west side, so I'm gonna check that one real quick. And it made sense because once I actually got into the unit, because the one I did open had all its screws and everything. This one was missing screws. And then sure enough, we come in here and there's an unplugged compressor. So let's just verify. Because I think it was tripping the breaker. So let's see if it's shorted to ground. And we can tell them what we can do from there. Once I have more information. Alright, so we are set up for continuity. Let's see if we get tone on this to ground. Just check it to the copper. That was quick. Alright, so we do have a shorted compressor. 2 of the windings. 2 of the windings there. So I'm going to get the information and give them a quote basically, I guess, because they want us to do their work. Now I noticed some oil up here. Oh, that was way too close. So we have a leak. A leak there somewhere. Can't see it from here. Let me actually just see. I don't think this line's fine. It's just the 2 where are they from? Oh, they're going to the reversing valve. So these 2 reversing valve lines right here rubbed out and have a lot of oil, so we'll see. And it is from that unit. I hope nothing is bypassed. Or unless it doesn't have a suction side switch. So this one has a pressure switch coming out of the reversing valve. 3 ports. That one has 1, 2, 3 ports and they're not being used. fine, but if it doesn't have pressure and we don't have a safety on it, that's what causes that to burn out. Alright guys, so no, we are flat, so that's going to be the issue there. They didn't tell them. I don't know if they told him to get a new compressor, but I swore he said that they bidded for a new unit, and this is, he said, from 2019. So if we put one in, if we get the bid, if we put a compressor in, I'm gonna wire in a safety, and I can wire it in series there for a loss of charge, which is just weird to me because we have all these ports and they're all free on the suction side. Even on the high side, we have a bunch. And this first compressor has it right here, the safety on the suction. But this one, this unit, or this compressor, has this one free, this one free, and that one free. And even on this one, it has two right next to each other. That's why they have the safety there. But this one, I'm not seeing a safety anywhere, unless I'm blind. But we need to put something, because if this happens again, you don't want to be replacing compressors or killing them. So I have another, like I said, another unit behind me that I'm going to verify. Maybe this one was taken off. Maybe they don't come with one on the second circuit. It's just weird to me that they protect one and not the other. Okay, so yeah, that's just the way they are for some reason. This one has 1, 2, 3, or 3 in the same spot, and I don't see a low pressure safety. Isn't that weird? Oh, and you can see that it's going to rub out as well. So I'm going to pull that back right now. Yeah, they're literally touching. What the hell? So now that makes me want to go and check the one in the back and make sure we don't have another rub out, because I don't want to be... I'm not one to sabotage or wait for this stuff to happen. If I can prevent it, I'll prevent it. I'm not gonna... I really don't want to be replacing those compressors in the back. It's going to be a pain in the ass to do this style here. You can tell these probably need to be cleaned, but yeah, they're just touching right there. Oh, that one's real cool. Jeez. Alright, so we were just here for a second opinion. I don't know if we're going to do the compressor or not. I'm going to quote a new compressor, and obviously the leak repair. We need to braze over those 2 spots that rubbed out. Make sure we patch that real good. And then I'm going to recommend a low pressure control, low pressure safety wired on that unit and the other 2. So I went around and move the lines away from each other, because they were all touching, all 3 units, so that we don't have another compressor going out and leaking, because the 2 lines that are touching are for the same compressor, the second one that's not protected by a low pressure cutout. So we're gonna do that, unless I'm missing something. If you guys saw something that I didn't, but the previous company just left right before I got here, and they had to disconnect that compressor because it was trying to run and it was tripping the breaker. So it's running empty, and that's obviously why it gave out. That's what killed the compressor. That's why I thought something was bypassed, but it just didn't have one. So the high pressure cutout is the most important, but I like to have low pressure cutouts as well to prevent a loss of charge issue. So I'm gonna recommend that we wire in, and it's gonna be super simple because all of them have several ports. I can pick where I want, or where it would be best to put one, and then wire it in series, and then be okay, be have them safely protected so that we don't have any other leaks. And if we do have a leak, we don't have a compressor giving out. Like I said, instead of me just ignoring it and leaving it like a sabotage, I'm gonna fix it before we have issues. And I'm not even looking forward to replacing that compressor, to be honest, because of the location of it. It's behind the other compressor, and there's a whole bunch of lines, and it's a heat pump, so it has the reversing valves all in conjunction there, and it's going to be a hard one to do. I have to see if we have to remove the top and do it that way, but if we get that call, then we'll do the compressor and we'll do all the safeties. And then once I get those done, I'll probably see if he wants me to check that super old Weathermaker in the front, in the middle. Surprisingly, all the contactors were pulled in and working, but we did not have a compressor coming on. So we got to see what's going on with that one, see if it needs a compressor, if it's worth fixing, or if we should condemn it and put a new one in. But we're coming in from another company, and the other company, I need to ask him if he mentioned a leak, and I mean, they didn't. Obviously, they probably wouldn't do anything until they worked on it, because I already bent them out, and I went through the trouble of bending out the other ones. That's just how we do things. We're honest with the customer, and it gets us a bunch of work. So this is a different company from the other location that I took over for. Same customer, but I guess they're using several companies, or they tried another one before us, and they still had us come out. All right, guys, and just an update, because that call was a few weeks ago, maybe over a month ago. And basically, I've never worked on that brand exactly, the Allied Commercial brand of Lennox. So just a heads up, if you guys see those, more than likely there's a rub out right there, because it happened on all of them. And only one of them emptied out. That's the one that had the issue. Now granted, he told me that they were installed 2019. I guess he looked it up when I went, and they're gonna have warranty, so they're gonna have another company probably do that, because I went back for something else, I think on the kitchen AC, and I noticed that the old carrier there was replaced, and it tripped me out for a second, because I looked at it and it was a brand new carrier, the one in the middle that was beat to hell. So with any big franchise or restaurant, they more than likely buy their own equipment, which it happens. If you guys do big chains or national restaurants, you might know what I'm talking about. The supply houses will sell to them because they buy in large quantities, because they have a lot of stores. So a lot of times they need a lot of equipment, and supply houses love that. So it's whatever that it happens in the commercial side of things. They buy it. Sometimes we install it if it's a good customer of ours. But we just started with this company, so wherever they buy them from, they get them installed relatively cheap. I remember they told me a price on it, but I forgot what it was exactly. But they get a good price on it installed. So they already had that, and I'm pretty sure that company was doing the compressor, because they're probably the ones that install that stuff. So that guy is going to get taken care of, not by us. I've been back for other things, but I haven't had to look at those exact units anymore. So I don't know if they did replace it or not. And yeah, I just think it's a weird design. Looking at the panel on another call that I got afterwards, I noticed that the one in the back is actually circuit number 1, and then the one in front is circuit number 2. For some reason, circuit number 2 has a low safety and the first one does not. So if anything, the first stage is what gives out on these if there is a leak, because there's nothing to stop it. So if I had gotten the okay to do it, I probably would have put in a safety for it, just to wire it in series and do it on one of the suction ports. It could have been any one of them. There was several, but I'm more than sure we're not doing the repair, so that's going to be up to the warranty company, whoever deals with it. But that is basically how compressors die. You kill them. So this one, number one suspect is a factory. So from factory, they're coming like that. They're designed like that. They're designed to fail. One being the low safety cutout that's not there, and the second is how these lines, I don't know if over time from vibration or what, are touching and rubbing out. So that's, like I said, my first time seeing Commercial Allied, and not a big fan of them. The wiring in that whole area too looked like a mess to work on. It's a very busy unit. It has, like I said, the electrical that's kind of crazy, and then the compressors don't look that easy to work around. Like the room you have to work in there, maybe if you have to braze or anything like that, let alone put in that compressor, you have to do it over the top, and even then it doesn't look like there's a lot of room. But that's just my 2 cents. If you guys are familiar with the Allied Commercial Lennox brands, let me know what you think about them. But I'm used to Trane and Carrier for the most part. Are there other locations do have older Lennox units, which I have seen before. Right before I started my channel, I actually had a location that almost kicked my ass with all these Lennox units, but we got them all going. But that was not because of the units themselves. That was the previous company that went and cut everything and bypassed everything and did not replace boards. All the compressors had already been replaced, marked MO99 refrigerant. I had a kitchen unit that was still leaking in the coil, and then I tried to get them by, but the 2 compressors ended up dying. So new compressors that they had just put in were dying already. So that one was a mess. That one was fun, but we don't have that customer anymore. That's one of those. They got someone cheaper. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, we got plenty more videos to come. Click on that bell, get you notified every time I upload. And I appreciate everybody who watches, and I'll see you guys.